everybody, how are you doing? My name's Chris, welcome to Sharp Edge Woodworking, and today I'm going to talk to you about building a bed frame. Now, just before Christmas I treated myself to a brand new mattress, and I got it from IKEA. If you're interested, not that I'm promoting IKEA or anything, that's where I got mine from. I got myself a king size foam mattress. I've never had a foam one before, so I've had them spring things or whatever. And I love it. I forget which Scandinavian range it's called, but it was about 250 quid, IKEA king size, and I love it, it's great. So if you're in the market for a mattress in the UK, check out IKEA. So now I've got that, I've decided to build a nice new bed frame for it to go on. Now, because it's only for me, so I went and got myself a big batch of pine. This is unsorted pine, and what that means, if you don't know, pine comes in grades when it's kind of chopped down in the forest and things like that, and it's machined, it's kind of graded into its grain and its defects. I'm sure there's sort of a scientific kind of ratio for it, but it's, the fewer the defects in per metre of timber is kind of assigned a grade. So this, for example, let me show you. Just get these out of the way. These are my legs, we'll get to these in a minute. Well, that's a good one. So we've got a board here. That's a 9-foot board, 8 inches wide, and there's barely a defect in it. There's one knot in it there. Now, you know, you can't find that in your regular sort of big box stores or probably your small local timber yards or anything like that. I got this from sort of a large timber suppliers. It's called Arnold Labour. They've got a few sites around the country, but I've got one near me, so I use them for my good quality pine. But that's kind of what unsorted pine looks like, you know. And all the other boards are the same. You can probably see from that stack there, there's not a blemish on any edge anywhere. So it's kind of, it's not free, you know. That one's kind of, there's one there, and just one small one at the end, but they're very small and very thinly spread throughout the material. So that's what unsorted means. Like I say, those are my legs I've been working on, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to stain it. I've not really done so much staining on pine before, so I'm going to try it. I've seen like a dedicated pine stain online, so I'm going to order some of that and give it a try. But if anybody's got any tips or advice on staining pine, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear that. So that's what we're doing with that. Now, I spent some time on the internet looking for like ideas and images and designs and stars and what have you. And anyway, so what I decided to come up with, Alan, I've forgotten his surname, from Ask Woodman. He also has a YouTube channel and super cool tools. Alan did a design for a bed frame that he's used, and he's happy for, you know, people to use it. So thank you, Alan. I'll send Alan I'll get in touch with Alan via one of his social media outlets once I'm done and finished, and just sort of thank him for offering that. But that's what we're going to do. So to get this started, we'll start with some legs. I'll take that one for argument's sake. So here's one I've already done, or one pair that I've already done. The other pair is in process, but I'll show you kind of how they're constructed. So everything in this bed frame design is made from inch thick timber, which kind of helps keep it sort of somewhat simple. So that's what we've got as it's finished. And the concept behind it is, just for argument's sake, say this is going to be our side rail, which will slot into there like that. We would take one of these, which would be our side support, running across to the other side of the bed. So that runs long ways, that runs across, mattress on top here, and it all kind of interlocks into the leg like so, and that is already sort of pretty solid and firm. So it's quite a cool design and it's not that difficult. So, and I think it looks awesome. So once it's actually done in full size, it looks the business. But yeah, so that's that for now. Give me that because I need that. Okay. So how these legs actually go together is they're basically kind of made up of 4 bits laminated together. So you got the front face, the middle piece, that one, and like so. So we glue those all together, let them dry. We then strike a 5-degree angle. We measure up 400, strike an arch with the trammel that I showed you in my previous video. We drill some holes which will bolt the slat support, the cross brace into it from either side, and then we route out our groove for that to drop into. So there's kind of a process of doing it like that, and it's kind of cool. You know, you've got to get it in the right order. Really, you've got to drill your holes first because while your sides are still sort of square and parallel, because drilling square holes in an angled piece is very difficult. And it's also better to do those first before you do your routing, so you don't kind of burst through as you drill through once you've already routed out your gap. So those are your legs. I'll get on with putting this one together, and then we'll come back once we've got all 4 legs ready to go, and we'll start putting some frame components onto them. that's pretty quick how you knock one of these legs together. Already it just looks like a more interesting component to me than, you know, just like a regular 3x3 square leg. But that's just kind of what drew me to this particular design. Now if you kind of like this and you want to have a go at making one of these yourself, I suggest you go and watch Alan's series. He goes through this whole build in loads of detail. It's about 48 videos worth of detail, so you know, take the night off if you're going to watch it, but it's well worth the watch. But yeah, it's awesome. So now we've got those, let's crack on with the rest of the frame components. Okay, so my side pieces are now slotted into my legs nicely, as you can see. What we're going to do next is knock off the angle on all four ends of the bed. Now, all the angles on this particular piece are coming in at 5 degrees just to keep it all the same, and you know, to the eye, nothing looks out of place. So I've got my angle gauge set to 5 degrees. Let's say it's the same as the angle of the leg. And we will just mark that off. And we'll cut all these off, do the same on all four corners, and knock these off at 5 degrees. Alright, so I've got my ends cut now, and what we're going to do is bang this in here, which is the mechanism in which our end will attach, like so. So basically all I've done there is routed and mortised in there, chopped a stub tenon on the end of this block here. Now this block is no particular size, just enough so you can get some screws in there and room to get a driver in. Anything like that, I'll be fine. Now I'll cut that again, that's followed the 5 degree angle of the slope. So again, the top and bottom are cut at 5 degrees, which keeps that and that parallel. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this into here, screw it from the other side, plug the screw holes. I might use some nice sapele or something like that, make a feature of it. And then, as I say, so when your end cap fits on, this is just an offcut, but we'll go something like that, and then we'll screw that into there. So let me go with gluing this in. So here I am just finishing up working on the cross pieces. That fits nice. Let me get out of the way. So I'm working on the cross pieces and the cross braces, which lock the left side and the right side of the bed together. So here we've got a pair of legs, we've got a front left and a front right, and the same applies for the back left and the back right. Now, as we've already seen, our side panel of the bed frame drops into this slot here, running this way. And cross braces run at 90 degrees to each pair of legs, which lock the left and the right side together. So how that works is, come in, I'll show you. Okay. So what we've got is our leg construction, as we've already seen, so side piece in there, cross brace in that slot there, and the only problem we have is this material here, which now interferes with us dropping our side panel in. So we simply mark that out as we've done there, chop that away, so when that goes back into there like that, now we clear the space, our side panel can drop into position, and then we can bolt this cross brace into the leg on each end, holding and locking the whole thing together. Excellent. Right, so I've just been doing some work on the headboard. Started working on that. And what I've done there is I've just put like a little round over on it, which is the same radius as my leg. Again, just to keep things a little bit consistent. And the reason I'm doing this, I want to get a position on my headboard before I cut the end to size kind of thing for the final size of the bed. And the reason for that is the top of the headboard and the back of the bed, I want them both at the same point, so when the bed pushes against the wall, it contacts the wall at 2 points, both at the top of the headboard and at the base of the frame. So to start my headboard, that's where it's going to go. I've taped it off so hopefully you can see that. And again, we're following the 5 degrees. So my curved profile is going to go somewhere kind of in that area there, but that's a bit unstable, even if we was to screw or bolt that in. So we've got to take a second piece and laminate that onto there. Now the second piece has been cut at 5 degrees there and 5 degrees on both at the top, which will give us a flat top, and the 5 degrees at the bottom will sit on this side rail. So just for argument's sake, we'll clamp these together for the time being. Kind of like that. Which now gives us a lip, the step, to sit on here. And because they're all cut at the same angle, that will then bring this into position right on its mark. Bang on 5 degrees. We'll just clamp that in place. Just turn these around. Okay, so we've now got a position for our headboard. That's kind of where it's going to be. So I need this point and then this point down here to match as close as damn it. So how I do that is I take a straight edge, knock it up there, clamp that in position, and if I grab a big square, and sort of check it against that for level. It needs to come this way a bit, but that's pretty much it. So my mark is around about there on the inside of this ruler. So that is where the definite end of my bed will be. So I can mark that, strike another 5 degree on my bed side, transfer it to both sides, and now I've got my final length. So that's that. So let me get on with finishing up here, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, right, let's have a look. How did we do? Oh yes, nice square cuts. Right on the money. Right, so I've just put a little round over on the top and bottom side rails, my legs, just to break the corners, nothing heavy, just a nice little round over. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting a larger round over on the ends of my side panels. That's just so it really rolls nicely into the end pieces. So I had to move up to my 1/2 inch router because my large round over cutter is a 1/2 inch shank, so the trend won't do it. So I'm going to do that now. Where's my goggles? I've literally just had them. Oh, this is ridiculous. What I'll have to do. Okay then, so I've got my sides assembled, I've got my slat rail glued and screwed on, my sides are glued into my legs, so the sides are now fully one piece. Now I've just assembled everything to get a feel for it, and so I've got my slats which go across here, but the problem we've got is we've got too much of a span here, that's far too much flex. So we need something to run through the spine of the bed to support under these, and that would help distribute the weight. So what we've got one of these. Let me get over here. So I'm going to notch that into these. Drop that down so it sits at the same level with our side rails, and then our slats can run straight across, supported in the middle. So I've already got these marked out, so I'm just going to notch these out of here and here and run it through to both ends. So I'll do this while I've got it all assembled. Start with this one. So I've cut my notches out, I've got my support beam, That drops in there. And take our slats again. Much better. So, excellent. So all I need to do with this now is cut a 5-degree angle on each end, cut it to length, and that is pretty much our bed frame complete. We can then move on to the headboard. Alright then.
Okay then, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's start putting this thing together and getting a mattress on it, and hopefully it fits. Now this is just a temporary location, kind of under this roof here. It's eventually going to slide down that way because this whole room is getting redecorated and reorganised. But you've got to work with the space that we've got for the time being. So for now, this is where it's going to be, and this is how it goes together.
And now for the slightly fiddly bit, we take a bolt and we lock in these braces into the legs through our pre-drilled holes in here. So take a bolt in through the hole, there it goes, and then a washer and a nut on the other end. One, two, three, four. All legs done and locked in. Right, my next piece is this slat support rail, which drops into these notches here. Now this basically just floats freely all the way around. And it drops onto a little cleat at the end there, which is just to take the weight on the front. The back doesn't matter because the headboard will cover that, so no weight going on the back. Again, that's plenty strong enough. The only thing is, if I discover it makes some noise or it squeaks or it rattles or anything like that, I may find a way of securing it into position or apply some like sponge pads underneath it or something like that. But for the time being, that basically just floats. So the slats go on top. Right, so I'm going to get my battens on next. I've got my first one fixed down and I've kind of figured it out. I need a 45mm gap between each slat. I didn't want any more than 2 inches. I'm going to need 19 slats at 63 wide with a 43 gap. So I've got myself some 45 mil shims. One in there, one in there. Next slat. Screw them in. Take the shims and move them down. Right, we'll stop there for now because I need a little bit of room to wiggle to get the headboard screwed in over here, so I'll put the last couple of slats on the end. Let's get the headboard. And there she is, all finished. Everything worked out great. The mattress fits perfect, so I'm super happy with it. I love the style, I love the design of it. I love the 5-degree angles. I was just thinking it sort of makes it a little bit sexy, and the offset legs, the fact that they're in from the corners. There's absolutely no way you could ever tip this up, even if you was having like 3 or 4 people sort of sat on the end of the bed. There's no way. You don't have enough of a pivot to counter. There's no way. So the other thing that I really like about this particular design is that the mattress is the highest point of the frame. So personally, I'm not a fan of the footboards on beds. You know, if that's your thing, great. You know, they look gorgeous. But for me, I'm kind of like 6 foot plus, 6 foot and a bit. And if I'm laid in bed and my feet are overhanging, I don't want anything hard on the end of my bed for me to sort of kick or rub my feet against. So I love the fact that it's kind of open all around and there isn't anything to interfere with my feet or my legs or anything like that. It's very solid, it's very stable. You get on it, nothing squeaks or, you know. So yeah, all in all, it's just a great project to work on. A lot of interesting aspects involved in this project. Doing all the plug screw holes, the rounded corners, the 5-degree angles. Really lots of fun to do. So if this is sort of something that, again, like you're interested in, it's not my design. I got this from Alan over at Ask Woodman on his channel on YouTube. So again, thank you, Alan. Great design. Go check Alan's videos out. He does lots of cool stuff. And keep checking my videos out. So for the time being, I'll say thank you to you all for watching, and stay tuned for some more sharp edge woodworking. See you later.